The last couple of weeks, Monty Tech is taking on a completely different approach on how that we would handle violence inside our school. Particularly, how would we handle somebody that comes into our school with a weapon? At the end of last school year, June of last year, the Monty Tech School Committee approved unanimously to pursue a program of school safety that would enhance the lockdowns that we currently do. The enhanced lockdown uses the ALICE system. The ALICE system is a response system which students, if confronted with an armed person in the school, can process in their minds on what reactions they would need to take or could take to save their lives. Nothing's really changed about the way that we conduct school safety, other than that we've added options to what a student can do. As we look back at school violence, we look at people coming into schools with weapons, locking the doors, turning off the lights, and waiting in the corner is not the best action for all events. It may be for some, but not for all. So we had to come up with a way of giving students tools to help them in the decision-making process so that they can protect themselves in the event that something was to happen inside the school dealing with an armed shooter. We've adopted the ALICE system here at Monty Tech, and ALICE is being adopted by school systems all around us as well. 5 steps. ALICE is to alert the student in clear language about what's going on. That's the A. We want the student to be able to lock down if they're in any location. Create a safe environment so that they can make decisions. We also want them to be informed about what's going on. New information. We want to keep broadcasting throughout the school anything that's going on inside. In the event that they are confronted with a person with a gun, we want them to have simple countermeasures to be able to utilize to help them perhaps in that situation. Ways of distracting somebody with a weapon by using their voice, by throwing things. We also want them to know the most important thing that they can do is to evacuate, to get away from the danger area. That actually means leaving the school. It means leaving the classroom. It means leaving any area where that person could be with a weapon inside the school. So ALICE meets our needs for enhanced lockdown. Our students are embracing it. We've trained over 1,400 students in the school, and we're going to continue to build on ALICE, teaching more techniques for how students can lock their classrooms or barricade their classrooms to make it a safer environment.
Together need to ensure that what happened inside Colorado, what happened inside Virginia Tech, what happened inside Sandy Hook is not going to happen here. You can do that if you decide that you are going to live. Because of the mass amount of people that we have here, we have the power to change the most ugliest and evil situation. We have the power to change it. But you have got to decide. At Monty Tech, we have 2 responses that we take for bad situations. There's 2. You need to know them. Not knowing them could jeopardize your safety and mine. The first situation we have is something that's called a shelter in place. That is just what we've done in the past. We lock the doors, we turn off the lights, we get accountability, you surrender your cell phone. And you wait for the administration to tell us what we need to do. We also do not respond to fire drills. Now I will make this pledge to you that we will not use shelter in place if there is somebody inside our building that has come to our building to harm people or create violence upon us. This will be used for other types of emergencies when the principal determines that he wants to stop the total movement in this building and ensure we have accountability of all of our students. Then we have enhanced lockdown. This is what we do when somebody comes into our building with the intent, with the purpose to kill us. Enhanced lockdown. There are steps we're going to be able to take, that you are going to be able to use to decide that you're going to live this day. Okay, so why? Why? Why the change? Why the change? The change because the other ways don't work. They don't work. Jumping in the corner and hiding under a desk when someone comes in the classroom with a gun doesn't work. We could want the bad man to go away, but he is not going away. If someone comes into the building with a gun, they have made a decision that they are going to die that day. They've already made that decision. There's nothing you can say, I can say, that's going to change that. That person's made that decision. And we don't know what other decisions they may have made with it. I am going to die, and I'm going to take 22 people with me. Whoever could have imagined last year that we would be talking about an armed guy going into an elementary school and killing 7-year-old children? Who could have ever imagined it? It happened. These are hard decisions, guys. These are hard things to do. But they're harder if you never think about them beforehand. So you need to think. You need to think. Okay, with that said, we're going to move on to that next piece and develop it just a little bit more, which is the counter. I want to talk about this, first off, is there are no right answers. There are no wrong answers. The only real answer is action. That's the only real answer, is for you to do something against that person coming in. Distracting them, that's only part of it. You got to get out of here. You have to get that person down. You got to get the weapon away from them. You got to alert other people. The only thing you have to alert people with right now is verbal. Is you screaming at the top of your lungs so electricians, so plumbing, and everybody else hears you. So that everybody gets a warning. Because that person may walk in here, fire 1 shot, 2 shots, and then out the door they go, going to wreak havoc and bring pain and misery to somebody else. Evil is going to travel, it's going to move, it's going to go places. You need to do everything that you can to stop that. Now, when Officer Jackson pops through the room, he's going to come in like a shooter. Don't try to eye gouge him. Right? He's got a helmet on. Don't try to do that. Don't jam a pencil in his ear or anything. But think about your actions. Think about what you would do and how you would do it and how we all take care of each other. And the leader isn't the teacher. Just because that person has the authority and is a teacher in this room, it doesn't mean that that person is the one that's going to make the calls for you to follow. It doesn't mean that at all. That leader... Okay.
I've been waiting for that all day, and I want you to know I've had a...
All right. Hey, quickly get your seats back. We're going to brief that really fast. One is you're all expecting to come in there. You came in there. Because you're never going to know where someone's going to come from if they want to hurt you. Some of you who are talking all kinds of hash and trash ducked and went into the freaky freak. You were afraid. And you froze. You did nothing. You did nothing. You were the person Cho was looking for. A person laying on the ground wishing the bad man would go away. One student made contact with a book. One. And then another student came from the other side of the classroom, leaped over the desk in a single bound, and tackled Officer Jackson while attempting to get the gun out of his hand at the same time. All 79 pounds of it. Mr. Bean's going to buy you lunch. Will you get up to 105 by the weekend? Look, the leader is any one of you. You're going to freeze unless you start developing muscle memory to act. You're going to freeze. you need to think about it. It's not the kind of conversation. You'd rather be talking about what movie's coming out, what new games you might want, what new app you have, when is your dad really going to get you that new iPhone? I mean, there's all those things out there. But this is something you need to talk about. And not just in here in this classroom, but in your other rooms that you travel, in the cafeteria when you're there, when you go out with your friends to the restaurants or to the mall or to the movie theater or anywhere else. You need to have those conversations.